Hi there, YouTubers. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to my channel. It's all about racing. Today we're going to take a look at a really special limited edition. In fact, this is actually the dealer's limited edition Porsche 911 RSR in the Coca-Cola livery. This competed in 2020 at the Petite Le Mans. In the background here, you'll see the poster of the Mustang sampling. DPI also competed at Le Mans, and this was the 2022 race. As you can see from the tag right there. I was not there in 2020. That was a COVID year. They had it closed to the public, but this car did a race there indeed, and we're going to take a closer look at it right now. Folks, I have about 6 of these limited edition Porsche dealership cars. I've never got one that came in the original box that it's shipped in. This Coca-Cola car was one of them, and I'll show you the reason why I probably got this in the box, and I imagine that was intentional. As you note here, this is a description of the 911 RSR, number 9112, 143, white and red. What I thought was interesting is, the date of production was 3/3 of 21, but the date of expiration, unlimited. And this is supposed to be a limited edition car. Really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Now, on the top of the box, it says this is 1,474 out of 1,500. That's reassuring because on the car itself, there's absolutely no label telling me what number I got, how many of the vehicles were produced. Let me open this up for you. The box opens up like so, and literally once you've opened it, you just pull the car right out, and you're ready to. This particular car competed in the IMSA racing series right here in the United States. In fact, the only time this competed was at the Petite Le Mans in 2020, which sadly most of us were not able to see because, as I mentioned before, this was a race held during COVID, and people weren't allowed to attend it. Anyhow, this is what it looks like. It's a beautiful car. Normally with these Porsche limited edition cars, they do come on these plastic bases like you see right here. The cars are resin, so they're very, very light. They're sealed. You cannot open them. But they usually have a badge on the corner right about where I have my finger there, but this one doesn't have it. In fact, the only marking denoting this limited edition was the one that you saw on the outer box that it came in. This was the 911 car. This was a professional Porsche factory entry with I think, some of the best drivers in the entire series, Nick Tandy and Patrick Pilet. This is an absolutely gorgeous car. It is bright red, not orange like it kind of looks here. The camera distorts the colors a little bit, but it's kind of unique, and it has the white wheels, which I thought were just a really cool touch to go with this. Brake calipers and the brake pad you can clearly see. Interior details of this car are excellent. They're very, very hard to see with this camera as we have it. Let me turn this thing around. As you know, with the Porsche 911, and let me take a look at this one in particularly, this being an RSR, these are mid-engined Porsches. That means the engine was mounted right behind the driver's cabin. The reason they did that, in order to compete in the Pro GTLM series, they needed to mount a really huge diffuser on the back of it, and they couldn't do that with the car being a rear-engine car as the 911 GT3 cars are. So they put it in the middle of the right behind the driver's compartment, so they could fit that massive diffuser that you see. And it's beautifully outlined in carbon fiber with the red accents on it. I love the dual exhaust coming out the back. Some of the 911 RSRs have side exhausts. I think they may have ran those through like 2019 and 2020 maybe, I'm not sure. But I do have a couple of those that I will show you. Anyhow, absolutely beautiful model in this striking red and white livery. I mean, it is just crystal smooth. And quite frankly, if you've looked at a lot of my reviews, I've never had a bad thing to say about Spark because I've never had a bad one to say anything about. They're all virtually perfect in every aspect. I can hardly find flaws in any of them. It's one thing I like about Spark. Now, a Spark may cost a lot, but it's worth it to get this beautiful car. And we'll take a look at the view from the top. And there you go. That's what it looks like from a helicopter view. You see the Coca-Cola on the front of the car, the Porsche on the rear wing. Coke is it on the right side, or left side, nothing on the right. Let's take a quick look under the wing to see if there's anything there. Sometimes Porsche has special messaging under there. No, it doesn't. It just says Porsche on this particular one. But that's okay. That's cool. Looks badass any way you look at it. A couple aerials on the car. This is the side view of it. And I'll try to steady the camera a little bit so you can get a nice, good, handsome look at it. Absolutely beautiful. One thing that I like about the Spark cars, their attention to detail really is second to none. All the grills you have on it, those are inlays of either plastic or mesh metal. They go to great lengths, to include brake calipers, the brake rotors that are slotted. One of the neat little details you'll see on this car, and you don't see on many, but you do see these on Porsche 911s and Ferrari 488. See that little blue slot there? That is where the air jack goes into to pop the car, to elevate the car when they're doing pit stops on it. And in the event that they can't release it, there's a pull tab on there that they just yank on, pulls it, and it drops the car down to the ground. That you have on this car. You don't see that on many vehicles. One thing I was kind of disappointed out, particularly with this being an expensive limited edition car, is normally where you see the emergency marks there on the hood, there's usually a red pull tab on both sides. Those are for emergency workers to grab and to activate the fire extinguisher in the engine compartment in the event that there's a fire. There's also an electrical switch on the other side, and that's usually a button or a pull tab, and that cuts the power off to the car. But while we're on the front of the car, let's take a nice look at it. Beautiful, I think the Porsche 911 is just a majestic looking car, no matter what, whether it's an RSR, a GT3, old, new, they all look great. You can see the Coca-Cola logo on there, 911, Michelin, Chopard. You can see the RSR on the front splitter. And of course, there are the IMSA decals that you see typically on these cars that compete in the IMSA series. Pull tabs so you can pull body panels off, clearly marked on all of these. You take a look at the cabin, you can clearly see the computer, the steering wheel with the paddle shifters, the seat, and there's all sorts of fire extinguishers and other things that you can see if you shine a light on it. Very nicely done. Very beautiful car, I think. Even though it looks orange in this video, believe me, it is red and white. Please share your thoughts with me, and if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe.